The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody. Thanks for attending. It's what are we today? It's a weekly Noyantis Usergroup webinar. It's Monday, the 18th of February, 2019, and we've got myself and John are here. As always, if anyone's got any ideas or questions, problems, solutions, feel free to raise your hand and we'll get the mics opened and we'll cover the content accordingly. So while I just start to watch for questions, I think we've got a couple coming on email regarding, I think one of them regarding QuickBooks and so on and connecting up. But while we're waiting for other questions, I will quickly cover the calendar update, which I know one of you has been Michael. In fact, Michael, I'll actually open the microphone up so you can see ask questions as we're going through it. Hi, Michael. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, good. So basically, yes, this is the next change which is coming out. It will be 408. As you can see, it's internal build is C, but it's 408. And the main update which is coming out, there's one slight bug, and then it can actually be released. So that's how close we are. We're like 99% ready. So I've been using a multi-schedule example, but let's basically explain what it is, what the update will allow you to do, and how you would actually use it. Again, anybody else got any other questions? And I know we've got some to do with QuickBooks from Stan and so on, so we'll cover those. But for the calendar, for this new upcoming update, the functionality we're adding is really to do with working rotas or rosters or working schedules, that type of functionality. Now, if I've explained in the past, the way I've accomplished it in other solutions is to really use the colouring. So we can see here the calendar has this facility built into it, and we just have a quick look at this. Yeah, the calendar has a built-in function of what is your working hours. So if we go to, I think it's day view, there we go, and we can see override default colors, working hours, non-working hours. So I'm actually going to say working hours, white and silver. So you'll blatantly see. And this has been in there for years, literally years. So we quickly look at that now, and we can see up here it's highlighted, it's coloured in silver because we said the working day started at 9 o'clock and ran through till 5:30. And that's great, but you will have in your solutions the requirements to say, okay, this staff one, this person, they only work on a Monday, 10 till 4. And they don't work Tuesdays, but they do work a Saturday. That type of scenario. Person 2 might work different hours completely. So what you want to do is visually, within the calendar, paint the background of these different people, different schedules, with basically a non-working time. Then, of course, you might have the requirement of maybe a lunch break or a coffee break, and so on. And lastly, which we used, was a functionality where you might want to actually have the basically walk-ins for basically a reserved colouring, if you will. Our scenario was it was dental software, so it was a busy dental practices. It was installed in 500 different sites, so it's quite a popular product. Basically the requirement there was, if someone's tried booking into this time here, non-working time, you would want to say no, don't allow it. If somebody wanted to reserve, say, the first 30 minutes of each day and reserve it for emergency walk-ins, to say someone's going to have chipped their tooth overnight and someone's going to basically have some kind of dental emergency. So you want to just still allow the booking, but just colour it, just give a different indicator to say this time should really be reserved for walk-ins or emergencies or things like that. So that's the enhancement, and we've called it time status. So you can see at the moment you've got the only thing you've got is this: what's your working day? And we said 9 till 5:30, and it's in the template. But of course, you can set it in a property and a variable and so on. But it's very restrictive because it's just what's the overall office opening hours, if you will, not individual staff working hours and so on. So, and of course, that's just colouring. So we could actually still go and book an appointment at 7:45 in the morning or 7:45 at night, which we don't want to do. So if we go into ours now, and I'm just going to go to, basically, there's one called init prepare, and there's template settings for this, but I've just basically said here, we've got our new time status. So we've got a group called time status settings. And in that group, if I just bring it in its rough form, so to speak, we can see it's active. And then you've got these default settings to basically what do you want your coffee break, your break color, description and message and title to be. Same with the non-working and then the working hours. So I'll just take that out of the way. So we've set it to active. And what I'm also going to do then is we've got our normal, in the version of the calendar out there, it's file load records, but these have now been replaced. It's backwards compatible, so you don't lose anything. But these have now been replaced with data underscore, and then you've got load events. So all the file methods, file fetch record, file insert record, are all slowly but surely for all of the products being transferred across to data underscore. And that will be insert record, load events or load records or fetch record, prime record, and so on and so forth. And that's because of a clash with the save and restore functionality from some of the templates. Okay, so we've got the file load events, which we've always had. But now you've got a new one called, data load events, I should say. Now you've got a new one called data load time status. And the idea behind that is, this is where we just go into our example. This is where we would want to say, through some kind of setup system within your software, you would want to say, person A, so staff 1, they work, let's give them some proper names. You can see that's Andy Wilton, because you would have real names on these. So you could say like, person A works 10 till 4 on a Monday and don't work Tuesday and regular time Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that kind of thing. So what we need to do here is in the load, just like you have load events, which obviously is where you would put all your loading of your calendar events, here you would put your loading of your time status. So I'm just going to uncomment this and we'll see exactly, we'll leave that one out. And we'll see what we're doing. So obviously the example app will have nice variable names. This is just a rough and ready work in progress, if you will. I'm going to loop from the start and end date because this would receive a particular range. So if I was to choose the 18th to the 20th, it would receive the 18th to the 20th. So it would want to know what days this particular person works. So I'm going to say, okay, I'll go from the start to the end date. I'm going to check what day of the week it is. I'm going to say, okay, if it's a Monday, staff 1 on that date, so the Monday, only works, doesn't work midnight to 9:59 because basically they start at 10 a.m. and they've got a status. So this is where they add time status. So we give it the staff member, the date, the start and end time, and what status do you want it to be. And the status is, there's 3 predefined ones of calendar time status, non-working, working, or break. And then, of course, you can have any number of statuses yourself. So if you wanted to create a status of emergency walk-in, you could have that as a status. You could have another status of staff training. You might have a status for fire alarm training. You have maybe a fire drill every Friday at 10 a.m. You don't want to book it as an appointment in the system, but you do want to put it in the calendar as a colouring to remind people, and so on. So you can have any number of custom statuses, but the system comes with three predefined statuses: working, non-working, and break. So I'm going to say on a Monday, midnight to 10 a.m. I don't work, and 4 p.m. till 1 minute to midnight I don't work. So my working day is 10 till 4, basically. Okay. And on a Tuesday, I don't work at all. So midnight to 23:59, I don't work at all. And on top of that, every day I have a break. In fact, realistically, what you would do is you would load your staff breaks before you would do your non-working hours, because you can't take a break if you're not in work in the first place. So, and all the staff members, so I've got staff 1, 2, and 3 here. Remember, this example is all hard-coded staff template settings. In reality, you would have your own staff, which you would turn on and off, and so on and so forth. So, but we could say, okay, for them staff members, each day, 12:30 to 1:30, we close. So that's a break. So we're expecting that particular settings for the break, those settings for the working hours for Monday and Tuesday, and the rest of the time should be quite normal. So just by activating it and giving it some time statuses, we go back in here now, and now you can see there's our colorings, which we had before. But on Monday, it extends down to 10, because of course I don't start till 10 on a Monday. And I finish at 4. So whereas everybody else will work till 5:30, I'll only work till 4. I mean, these hours are brilliant with all of these hours, but just for example purposes. And last but not least is there you've got your color settings, basically for the break. Now, against any questions so far on that?
Andy?
Yes.
Hello. Michael is here.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to change the file load code for data load? We must move our code from file load to data load.
It will do it automatically for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. No, we've created the new methods, but the embed code.
I have it in load events here.
Yes.
The file load.
Yeah, there is. Let's just take a look onto this. If we look at turn on the legacy ones, you will see. I'll turn that off.
Under init, I have it, the file load.
Oh, you really shouldn't do the under init anyway. You should really put them under the load events. That's the best place. Yes. Or you'll have file load records. So if it was in the file load records, which is really where it should have been, then it would go into the data load events automatically. It would come in as an obsolete embed point, but it would still be called in the correct place. If you wanted to, what you could do is move it to that embed point and remove that one. But that's just for, to tidy things up. The old embed points will transfer to the new places automatically for you. So you won't have to do anything from a code point of view.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we've loaded them. Now, interesting. I said there's 3 built-in statuses. So let's just quickly show you what you can do. So here's our status definitions, and then ultimately we have a queue of different days and different statuses down to the minute. There's 1440 minutes in a day. So basically what we do, you've got these status definitions, and there's methods for adding these and overriding the default ones. What you can do is create your own status, give it a description, give it a color, give it an action, and I'll explain that a little more in a second. And depending on the action, you'd want a title and a message. So for example, here the system's got some built-in ones. We haven't done anything with this staff 2. So if I double-clicked here, the calendar would allow it because it's just its own default settings. If we go to 1, we said we don't work 0 to 10 a.m. If I double-click here, we get warning, you cannot book into the selected time because it has been reserved as a non-working period. All that wording is completely customizable by yourself, of course. This is just default wording. So what has just occurred there is we've got our statuses, 3 default statuses, working, non-working, and breaks, and they will have actions in them. And the actions are here. We can allow, which of course that's good, that's working time. We can allow with a warning, so it will display the warning, with a title and a message, of course, display the warning, but then let you proceed. You could display a question, and the user will be prompted whether they want to proceed or not. So the example being, this is reserved for emergency walk-ins, but do you want to allow it anyway? And you say yes. And disallow, of course, and that's what you see in there. So I'm going to here, and no, I can't book in. It's disallowing it. I can't go and book an appointment. Same here. Same here. So now we've got basically the ability to stop people from booking in to reserved time, if you will. So that's that function. If we look at this, we should get a different one. So it says it's a break because it knows it's a different status. So it will give you the different wording for the status. And that, as I say, the wording, it's initialized by default in the class and in the template, but you can override it. So if we wanted to change that that wording, you could do it in the template, but I'll just show you where you would want it. It would be in the init prepare. I'm going to change the break one, so it's going to be break message. This hang on, I'm having a coffee. Okay, there's the default wording for the break. So if we attempt to try and book in to our lunch break, there you go. I'm having a coffee. No, yeah. So from a language point of view, you can override, put your own words in, and so on and so forth. The next thing we would want to do, and this is the reason why it's just not been released, because there's one slight bug, is I would want maybe to add my own status. So I'm going to add a status here. I've got a new status definition. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to call it whatever status I want to call it. I might call it 99. It could be, you could give it an equate, which I would expect you to probably use equates, but it don't have to be. You could give it a status of whatever. We'll give it a status of 50. Give it a wording of walk-ins. We want it to be coloured in orange, and if it's used, we want to say, basically, we want to pose a question to the user with a title of reserved time and the wording of this time is reserved for patient walk-ins. Are you sure? I wonder if that's why it's not doing the thingy. Let's just get rid of that. Yep. Are you sure you want to proceed? Okay, so that's status 50. So now we've added a status. And last but not least, in our load time statuses, we will want to say, just as we've loaded our others, I'm going to say, I want to add a time status for these, for the date, 9 till 9:30, basically 9:29, status 50. The false on the end, by the way, is do you want to refresh? And I don't want to refresh after each of these. I want to do them all myself and then do my own redraw right at the end, keeping it nice and efficient. So now we should get our colourings here of walk-ins, but there's a fault in the class. but they should come up as orange, and I have a book on it. It should give me the question, are you sure? Because this is reserved to walk-ins. And that's really the new functionality, the time status. Hopefully you like it. It gives you the flexibility to basically fine-tune the background colouring, but not just that, fine-tune the background colouring, but also then start giving actions against that particular time. So if a person wanted to stop some people booking in at 1 a.m. in the morning, then that's just how you'd want to do it. Just mark it as non-working, use the time status facility and mark it as non-working time. And that would stop it for you automatically. Okay. Okay. That will be released. Literally, it'll be finished off tonight, but I don't know. I'll get the release out tonight, but it will be in the morning, so you can expect that to be available by lunchtime tomorrow. It'll be on general release to everybody. So, okay. Questions. We've got a question. Just trying to expand the question box out. Oh, it's not a question. It's Steve. I'll open the mic up so you can actually tell everybody. Steve, have you got a microphone? Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to? It's more of a statement, but do you want to give that as your statement and also maybe the reason why?
Yeah, I find that excellent, Andy. It just gets better and better. You can hear me, yeah?
Of course, yes. Yep.
Yeah, great. I'm using this actual plugin that you're using here in a garage workshop where they book in all their MOTs and repairs and stuff like that. And this will come in really handy because with the staff that they've got, they actually do work all different times.
Yeah.
So this is perfect for what I want.
Yeah, and it's hopefully, I mean, I've kept it as simple as possible to implement. So yeah, basically, just as you load events, you would load your time statuses. Your statuses, we've been asked, we've shown this schedule it as an application we're working on. But we basically to do with working rotors. So you can see here, I've got myself. I've got some work schedules. So from February onwards, you can see here a bit of a working schedule. So you can see here, this works on so 1 week they might work one particular pattern, the next week they might work a different pattern. You can have it as complex as you want, realistically, and so on. But you probably, you probably wouldn't need that. You just have they work these hours. But this would basically, if I put it here, I've got some debug. But you can see here that I would have Monday. Basically, they work on two sections to a rotor. The first section they work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, these hours. The next week, and that's for 1 week, and then the next week they would work Wednesday and Saturday morning, and then it'd be back to week one. Part one. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. And that is going to go into the appointment here. So I've not done the colourings yet because I'm just doing the enhancement, but the colourings will go straight into here so that they can see straight away who's working and where they are working and so on. So,
nice. Are you giving that as a demo, that app you've got there?
No, Joe, keep getting asked about that. No, but in the training we will cover, we'll cover the rotors, not the rotors, sorry, the time status in more detail, with more of a working thing to really demonstrate that kind of setup. So in the training we will be covering that, but it is very simple to implement.
Yeah, well, that's a really nice app you've got there.
Oh, cheers, thank you.
Nice. Well, I look forward to our training.
Yes. You're I'm trying to think. It's a 2 week on Thursday, is it not? So everybody else, please take note. If you want to attend, now's the time. But yes, I know you're coming up, aren't you? So it'd be good to see you and so on. So that's great.
Good.
Okay, no problem. Okay, now I know Stan. I'll just see if Stan's got a microphone. Hi, Stan. Are you available?
Yes.
Brilliant. I know you've got some questions related to QuickBooks. But one of the things I just wanted to quickly mention was one of the things Stan had a question regarding various things on QuickBooks, but one of the solutions I suggested was passing the class around to make use of it in other procedures. I don't know if that was of interest to yourself.
Well, I was trying to explain the problem, and I tried the class, and it's giving me a different type of error.
Okay. Well, the reason I mentioned that now is in the calendar example, so I can just quickly cover it here to demonstrate, is it's something I use, the approach, because you could use the approach with all of our classes. But yeah, it's an approach that I use in a few of our apps where I want to do basically the loading of the calendar. Hence why I've done it in this example. I want to do the loading of the events, but I want it to be in a source procedure, called from various different places, because the loading is nothing more than a date range and and some schedules and so on. But I need to talk to the calendar class to tell it to do the loading and insert the events. So I need to call methods from the calendar class in that source procedure. So the example here, which I just thought might be of interest if we just quickly cover this. Can't remember the name of it. Oh. Calendar classes parameters. Okay. Yeah, basically, a real life scenario of this was basically we had a calendar, so of course you loaded things from that. We had another procedure which used the calendar as the driving force, but then presented the data in a time bar report control. But of course, I had the loading, and as they were booking the actual appointment, so on the update form, what we would do is give them a calendar view on there as well, so they could see as they're booking it, would it clash with another booking straight away, rather than book it, come out and see you've got a clash. So we would show them a live view of the calendar. So rather than put the code in a little include, we just said, okay, we'll just have it as a source procedure, pass the calendar class in from all three different instances of it, and that one source common code can then be used basically in three different procedures. That's the idea. So if we look at where we've done that, sorry, not there. You can see all these are in the obsolete because they've been moved. But if we say maybe the load, it calls a source procedure called load events. I pass it the calendar class itself and the two dates that I want to load from and to. For our load events, it takes a prototype of the CalendarPro class, long and long for the start and end date. They could be dates, by the way, but you know. And then here's the magic code, so to speak. That's got some open files, yeah. Got our passed in class. Oh, I thought I did it a different way, actually. That's even easier. We just call in the methods of that class. So we've got our passed in class. There's two ways you can pass a class. As by the prototype, which we've done here, or via an address, and then basically define the class locally and have it to assign it to that address. It's a bit more work to do the latter, so this is the easier one. So yes, basically it was pass it in as that name, P calendar, and then we're free to just start using it. The other way would be to pass it as an address, so you'd have it as assigned, and then you declare it locally in here, and then do ampersand equals and the actual raw address, and that would give you the class as well. But you would have to remember to set it to null on the way out, rather than get a leak. So does that help? No, not in the overall. We'll come to your other questions now, but just from a passing the class point of view idea, does that help at all?
I have to do some research and give you an answer on that one later.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, no problem. It's just I think I forget the emails now. We get so many in and so on, and it's a weekend. But I know on one of the questions, the response I suggested was to pass the class. So then you could have a source procedure, and the class can be the Chilkat class. So you've got it on a window. You've got it. I remember now. Well, let's go to our Chilkat example. Chilkat.
Okay.
Oh, I'll go on to here. Sorry, just logging in on the.
I can explain to you where my issue is, and then you can give me a really good answer.
I can try, but yes.
Close the screen.
Just getting connected now. Okie dokie, where are we? Okay, so we're connected. Yes.
Close the screen.
Close this screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
Now on this main menu, if you put the connection string information on here,
okay,
instead of down in that other screen.
Got you. Yep.
And I get my connection.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I go into the QuickBooks and I try to download or select the chart of accounts,
it won't allow you because it doesn't think you're connected, and that's because the connection has been established here and it's just been auto reconnected there. But the control is actually on this window. It's hidden and probably only 1 pixel by 1 pixel, but the control is on this screen. The class is initialized. The connection's been made, and so on and so forth. So we've got you pass in tokens, but it gives you back grant tokens or authentication tokens to work with, and it's that authentication stage which has got to have taken place for you then to do any future communications. So of course, as we come out of here, then the class will have been deinitialized, been killed. The actual container, the OLE container, will have been deactivated and killed. So there is no active connection. So what you want to do, let's say hypothetically this was your, I'll tell you what, shall we actually work up the example here? I'll copy this one rather than make it live, where we have a couple of subscreens there which are nothing more than our chart of accounts and maybe customers, something like that.
Yeah. So you're saying that when you log in, there's a connection that's kept right there.
Yes, the connection's here, and it's
and when you go to another screen, it doesn't see that connection.
Exactly, 100%. But
is there a way for it to see that connection?
Yes, we'll pass the class. So how about here now, if we just work up this example, I'll add a couple of buttons to say accounts and maybe customers. And we'll have another window, which will be the accounts and the customers. They will let you do the download and so on, but they will actually be using the connection of this window.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Okie dokie. Right. I've just set myself a challenge now, haven't I?
Because this is my problem.
Yep. So that's no problem. Let's take a look. So let's go into here and whatever I'll do. Grab that across. Webinar. Okay, quickly recompile, but we're on it, so we know that works. In fact, I think the reconnection will still actually work. While that's just opening, I'll just open the Chilkat class here. Okay, that's going to bug me. Let's stop that.
It doesn't take long for it to end, but
Yeah, but we're going to do multiple compiles, so I'm going to do.
It is a pain.
Oh, I'll just browse. Temp webinar. I'll do it. Okay. So yes, they should still actually actively reconnect because it knows the last refresh, the last token is still within date and time, so it would automatically refresh. Okay. First thing we're going to do on our example here is I'm just going to add a button.
You just do the accounts.
Yep.
If it works with accounts, it's going to work with anything else.
It will, yep. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an about, and I just want to each of our classes basically have let's get the class name. Where is it? CK QuickBooks. Thank you. Each of our classes always have an about, which you can call just to check that things have been initialized. So just going to do that, and I'm going to go about. That should basically come back to us from the actual controller. It could be the CodeJock, it could be Chilkat, could be the PDF, could be anything. And it will come back, talk to the control, and give you an answer back from the control. And that's great, because it bloody hasn't. Typical.
So informative.
Okay. What else can I just do just to the connection? Won't be a second. Just try to find a property that we could just interrogate. QuickBooks, open those. You'll see where I'm going with this in a second. It does make sense. Ah, there we go. Yeah.
I have faith in you.
Good. Right. I'm going to redo that so it's connected. So I'm just going to message out DK QuickBooks dot active connections dot, and we will have a look if our QuickBooks so let it do its connection. Press that. Yes, it's true. Okay, so it's talking to the glass. So if I disconnect that, I'd expect it to say false. Just got ourselves a connection ready for next time to just make it a little easier. Okay. Yep. So we'll have a button of accounts. Okay. So that is going to call do it myself. So QBO accounts. We're going to pass in the CK QuickBooks class. I think that will be it actually. No. Going to pass in that QuickBooks connection. So you could even pass that in as a parameter to say whether you're connected or not in your child procedure. I want to pass that in. So the first thing I want to do is create that procedure. I'm going to have it as a window. Actually, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to copy that one, but we'll rip all the QuickBooks stuff out. It just means I've got my. No, we'll do it as a brand new one. We'll do it as a brand new one, which is just what you'll be doing. So that is going to be a window. QuickBooks accounts. Just a simple window will do for now. Brilliant, thank you. Something like so. And we'll probably have a close on there. You get the idea. The prototype would want to be the class, comma byte, which would be along the lines of, I'm going to have it as parameter QuickBooks Online and P connected. So I think first and foremost, do we get a compile? Okay, that's always a bonus. There's our window and so on. So we're going to want that list to start with, and the download all. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do in our window. I'm going to cheat here, but it's only from a speed point of view. I know I'm going to want a list. Okay, that's it. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to want a button. I'm going to want another button. Another button. Okay, I've got my list and 5 buttons. I'm going to go in here. Go to the accounts. I'm going to pinch that list definition, that button, that button, that button, that button, and that button. Have those there, but I'm going to change the ordinal numbers to those. 2, 3, 4, 5. I expected more. The list is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. What am I missing? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The button is on the outside. On the second one, download selected. It should be 4 instead of 36.
Take your work. Not seeing the wood for the trees there. Got you. Thank you very much. Yep. For a tip, if anybody does this, okay, is do marry up the ordinals. Always, if you're doing anything like this, always make sure you marry up the now where is it? The sequence, because that is what links that button on the screen to your template, the template instance. That is basically a template instance number. So always be careful, but always be careful. Make sure they match, but also match the ordinals, because your embedded code links on those. Not that we've got any, but it's just safe practice to do that. So that's just got me that. Of course, it's ripped off the other thing, so let's just grab those. There you go. Thank you very much. Now, we would want our embed code, of course, under the accounts. Let's delete accounts. So I'm just going to do some of these. There should be a delete, there should be a download, accounts all. There's download, account selected. There should be an insert and a change, and then we should be done. Oh, did I go past the change? Oh, straight past it. Okay, there's the embed points we've just got. And it's not going to be called that. It's going to be called PQBO dot. We'll just do the dot there, so just rename. Okay, that's just a quick way of me grabbing the code. Back into our screen. That from is use list accounts from LQ accounts. So let's just grab that. And I think there's an LG account, remember rightly? Yep. And last but not least, I think there's a total. Okay. Go to our embed. Actually, I'll go in the order that I've got these embed points. It'll be a bit easier. So there's our change. Let's have a look at that. There's our delete. Here's our download all. We'll cover what that content is in a second because we've done it rather quickly. Just want to get the stuff in there, and then we'll recap exactly what we've just done. Okay. First of all, do we get a compile, and then we'll go from there. LV results. I can handle that. That's just a local thing. We can get rid of that. But we will want that. So we've passed in the Chilkat class, and have we got a connection? Okay. We've got our list. We've got our download all button. You probably have this hidden away, just go have it done automatically. But just for our examples, we're going to use our passed in class name now, which is on the other window. The controls on the other window. It's been instantiated on the other window and initialized and downloaded. But we've passed the class in, and we're going to make use of the methods. So we're going to say, okay, download the accounts, put it into this local queue here. Got our, do we get any answers back, so on and so forth. Not bothered about that, just bothered about that. And the same with the selected and the insert. So the insert, for example, we clear this local group, we call a local procedure to allow you to go and update an account. Then we would actually call the class. So we call the update account with our primed up group with insert record, take it from the group into the queue and go and add it to the queue so it's on the screen. Imagine that's probably got that results in there as well. No? Then let's have a look if that works. QuickBooks Online, got our connection. not going to touch any of these here. I'm going to go into our accounts, do the download. Oh, why is that?
That is the error I kept getting.
That's doing, because there's absolutely no reason why that wouldn't work.
I even used the code right before or right after where you did download all, and used the reconnect code, and it still failed.
Okay. Intrigued. Very intrigued, actually. So we're going to have a look. Check connected, and I'm going to see pass in the P connected. So passed in is that, and then what does it think? And that'll be a PQBO. No. Okay, that's going to be interesting. I'm just wondering then, okay, let's go back to our other. I don't know if it's coming off this, because it's actually technically two classes. One is the overall global class, got its license, so on and so forth, and then one is the local task class, base class, whatever, from the Chilkat. See, it's slightly different to the other products, say the code job calendar or the code job report control. Do it with that. Yeah, it's slightly different from that point of view. Okay, Stan, what I will do is I will do some digging on that, follow it through, and send you. I'll get that working, because there's no reason why that shouldn't be able to do that. I wonder if we can just do a query. Just try one particular thing, query. Yeah, see, just wondering, because it does make a lot of calls off there. Yeah, no, I won't. I'll see why that is, because the approach, passing the class around, works really well. As I say, we use it with report control and calendar all the time. JP used to have a program called DMC. He used it with the docking panes quite a lot, and you just basically one procedure, and he could create brand new panes, if you will, on the fly. So the method definitely works. I presumed, obviously, quite confidently that it would work just on the QuickBooks one, even though the QuickBooks is slightly different. It's built off a global class, and then the local one, be it a base class or a number of base classes, and the others. Hopefully it'll be something very simple, but I'll follow that through and I'll get that working, and I'll send you this example app across as a starting point for you.
I appreciate it, because that will solve my problem, because right now I'm having to do the reconnect as I get to the screens, and that is a pain to look at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wouldn't have to visually see anything, but it's still not great.
Well, it comes up with that authorization to
the OAuth 2. No, you should be able to get around that. So, say for example, okay, well, just let me try something, see if this works. Window events, open, get settings from ini, and that attempts. Going to here. This still wouldn't be the way I want it to work, but let's just try it anyway. Can't see for looking. Open window, thank you. We shouldn't need any of that, because the code will have all of those. We shouldn't need that. We shouldn't even need that. We should be able to jump straight down to that. Oh yeah, sorry, it should be passed in class. Passed in one on. It hasn't gone through that. So it hasn't done the reconnect, and it hasn't done that. So, and the reconnect will have method code in there calling. If we take a quick look in here of reconnect, and
see, I put the reconnect in the download all button.
Yeah, you shouldn't need to. It should pass a whole lot. It's going to be because this has
didn't change that error. That was what was so weird.
No, it's going to be basically the scope of what it can see, where it can see these and so on. That's what's going to be throwing it. Not quite sure why, but that's what will be throwing it. So, okay, I'll work it through.
All right, sir. I have faith in you.
Thank you very much. So to be continued on that one.
All right, thank you.
Interesting. Steve had just put, can you try the new connecting the new window? So if you're following the same thought process, which is which I can see the logic makes sense, but no, we should, as I say, you saw the calendar one a minute ago. You should just be able to grab just the class, pass it across, and the beauty of it is all its properties, methods, everything is passed across in one file swoop. So there's an interesting, I think it wasn't the last DevCon, I think it was the one before, so it'd be 2015 CIDC DevCon. I did a chat, basically a presentation on, we took the invoice app, which shipped with Clarion, I think it was Clarion 4, Clarion 2, Clarion 4, but we took that, and what we did is we turned a couple of the screens, the orders, the stock, and so on, we turned them to all be class-based bit of data, basically dataless from a table point of view, and we did the where you passed the whole class around. We created an invoice or an order class, and you passed it around so you could pass the order header, all the lines, the stock details, the customer, all of it around as a class in one fell swoop. So you could pass basically all of the information just by one parameter from parent to child to grandchild. So if anyone's got access to those recordings, and you're interested in the passing of the class and creating it that way, that was a pretty good presentation to get into the step-by-step guide of how to do it. Okay, and Frank got a question on the Chilkat. So he's interested in getting the Chilkat, which is, in fact, hang on, Frank, have we got a microphone? Put you on the spot as well. I like to do that.
Yes. Can you hear me, Andy?
I can. Hi, Frank. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Yes, fine, thank you.
So just a couple general questions. I'm going to get the Chilkat because I need the QuickBooks functionality. Just do I need to purchase anything else besides your tool?
Okay. Well, it's a wrapper class, just like the Kojak stuff. So you will need. Let me bring it into scope here. It's based upon the Chilkat control. So we'll go to Chilkat Soft. Now, it's actually their product is split across 90, I think it's like 95, something like that. 93, 95 separate parts, if you will. When you buy the control, and it's $289 for the Chilkat control, you need the ActiveX control, obviously, the ActiveX DLL. When you purchase it, you get the license to all of this. Basically, it's just one file which includes all of that in one container, which is brilliant. If you wanted certain parts of it, you wouldn't need a license for the Chilkat control. For example, JSON object, no license required for the JSON object. So basically, so you could use that free. I think the XML does the same. Is it? Yep, no license required. But certain base classes have different licensing requirements. So you can buy just a smaller part. But if you wanted the entire bundle, then it's $289 for the entire bundle. Obviously, it gives you the free parts, but it gives you the other parts. And for our template class, template and class covers all the base, or well, some of the bases aren't actually released, but basically there will be 90. There's 95 here. There'll be 95 base classes. On top of that, so from here, if we go to our QuickBooks here, you add that, and you've got where are we? No, sorry, it was there. Base classes. Here's the base classes, as we can see, and you just turn on which ones you want. So now if you want the task class, they're an extra layer. Nothing to do with Chilkat. This is where we've done some of the work for you. So basically, where's our browser? For example, off the top of my head, the QuickBooks task class, we make use of JSON, definitely, string builder, definitely, REST, socket, OAuth 2, and I think that's it for that one. Probably some others. You kind of take them for granted. The Google one takes use of all those, plus off Google and a PFX. I think it is for the PFX for some of the basically keys that you get from Google. But I hide you from all that. So if you want to connect to QuickBooks, it's QuickBooks.connect, as in where are we? Let's go to our window. So the idea of the task class is to make it extremely easy for you. So there you go. It's QuickBooks, CK QuickBooks, whatever your class name is, .connect. You pass it the parameters, it will behind the scenes go off and make use of other bits. So if we look at the connect behind the scenes, what it's actually making use of is the OAuth 2. its own internal class. That's nowhere near there. The JSON, there will be the string builder, as you can see. Well, it's not the string builder there. The REST class, yeah, so you'll need that. Then when you any kind of comms, like the download and upload, they're done in the string builder, so on and so forth. So basically, it automatically initializes all the parts that it needs and does it all for you. That's the idea behind the task classes. So you'll come along and, basically, you won't have to make use of all of the little things yourself. But to answer your question, you'd need the license if you want to use parts of the task class. If you just wanted it for like a nice JSON processor, then you could just get our template and you wouldn't need a license for this. So does it tell you on there? Requires, that's a Chilkat bundle. FTP2, that requires a bundle, but there'll be some like the CSV or CERT that's free of charge, and so on. I know he does on his JSON stuff, as we can see. String table, no. String builder, yeah, free. I think the email, because he does that's a bundle. Interesting. I thought that's a bundle license, because basically what he used to have, I don't know if it's still the case, is he would have an email license or a bundle license, and there was various different ones. Just trying to see if he's still got those. No, looks like he's just gone for bundle or free.
I got you.
Yeah, does make sense, to be fair, because in the previous ones it started to get a bit, I won't say messy, but there was, I think he sold, you could get the parts of the email for something like $149 instead of $289, which of course is a saving. It's not to be sniffed at, but right. You really, by the time you got into stuff like that, you would automatically want to make use of other things as well. So basically, you're better off. It does make sense to just have one bundle or not.
Yeah.
To be honest, I know
you don't want too many choices.
No, and of course then you come to renew and maybe an upgrade, and you've got to allow for an upgrade from one to the other. So I can just imagine it really wouldn't have been worth the hassle for him. I know at the end of it, it has gone up. Well, it's not. His bundle price was always $289. But if you take a look, genuinely, if you take a look at what you get for $289, of course you've got our cost on top. I'm not saying that, but just from their point of view,
right.
That's a lot of products. Believe me, there's a lot of power in there.
Yeah.
There's so far, and we're going to cover some of the raw calling of these and so on in our training stuff. But there's a lot of power in it. I've been presented with a lot of API work of late, absolutely stacks of it, and so far, it's not let me down. It's past anything I've thrown at it.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. I just needed to kind of wrap my head around it, what it's going to cost and everything. Now, let me ask you.
It's about $600 in all in, give or take. $320 and the $289, so it's about $600.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Okie dokie.
The QuickBooks Connect, is it only with QuickBooks Online, or does it work with older versions, or?
That's just the online. Yeah, that's just the online. I'm not sure what. I've never played about with the desktop version. I think there's a few out there. The used to be one, I think, for like QB Fuse or something like that.
Yeah, I've worked with that before. It's limited in a lot of stuff. Not as easy as they make it sound. Or I'm just stupid. That could be too. Now, on the just two more quick questions, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Do you have examples and documentation for the PayPal Connect?
The PayPal Connect, the example is very limited at the moment. That's still being flushed out, if you will. But it'll be exactly the same approach as what we've done with the others. For the big believer in the proof of the pudding, so to speak. You've just seen that is Connect, weren't it? QuickBooks Connect dot Connect, and the download is we'll choose any of these accounts because we went into it earlier.
Right.
And the code here is download accounts, and you pass it a structure, and that structure is already predefined for you. So if we bring our QuickBooks class in, and we've got stacks of structures all set up for you. There's the account structure, the bill lines, class definitions, credit memos, so on and so forth. So we take that. Now I'll go to any of the others. For example, and I'll choose Google because I'll go to it there plenty of times. Where are we? Oh, straight in front of me. And we'll have a quick look at something like this. And it's a class name, just like before, and it's connect calendar. And you've got to connect tasks as well. I think tasker. Forget it's plural, I forget what. But basically the idea is, once you've learned the interface into one, I want you to really have a good understanding of the approach I'm going to use for all of them. So, right. And the download of that, of course, is going to be, that's download, well, it should be download events somewhere. There, download calendar events. And of course, you've got download tasks for the Google Tasks. We go to our PayPal then. Like I say, this one, it's in dev as we speak. Actually, no, I think that's just a copy of this one. Oh, no, it is. But that's the connect. And there will be the download. You'll pass it a structure. It will bring you back. Currently, I think that's just raw. It will bring you back the answers of whatever you're querying. So if you're wanting, give me the transactions, it'll give you the transactions, give me unauthorized, that kind of thing. All the things of that. It's the same, exactly the same approach we're doing with all of these. So the task class had nothing to do with Chilkat per se, although we're using all of their products. It's our basically it's our enhancement to the product. So we can see here the Dropbox Connect, and there should be a Dropbox download folder list, so on and so forth. So you get the idea. You pass it a structure, it comes back, and so on.
Right. Now, do you have those structures defined for PayPal or no?
I'd say it's about 40%. So there's more to do on that. Their documentation is pretty good. I mean, the other task classes, which are literally in the flow now, if you will, it's just time. It's literally, you have to be quite honest about these things. It's getting time to them and keep the other ones and keep application work going. But there is there's Dropbox on there. Obviously now, let's just run it. Actually, I can see them. Let's come out of. Oops. What have we got? Dropbox, Google Calendar. I mean, this is used heavily in our apps. Google Tasks, Zero Accounting, SMS, where you can primary a single group or a queue. And it's not just one SMS provider. We've actually got it so you can say which gateway you want to use, and it will format the queries and the results accordingly. You know, format the query and post it accordingly, and then give you the answer back. So I can just go here and say, hello. Okay, send. So there you go. Don't know if you just heard my phone. Yeah. There's it queued and refresh. That's delivered, and it is delivered. And there's I've just got hello and so on. So and that's gone via Twilio, but I could have gone via all these, and you just put your particular tokens in and so on and so forth. So you've got. I better refresh them tokens in a second, but you've got. Things open to you there, so it's the same approach. So you've got those which are done. PayPal, yeah, that's purposely grayed out until I get you a more meaningful, demo, so on.
Yeah, and it's no immediate rush on it. I'm not.
No, that will be. No, that will be done, and it will be added automatically. It'll be a free upgrade because it will be part of the tool set, which gets, weekly gets enhanced. And the same with eBay. We're going to do one for EasyPost, which is a cracking. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of EasyPost, or if they have the requirement to. I'll just bring that into. Let me just find it. I'll just go to there. There you go, EasyPost. The idea behind this is you sign up and so on. You might have accounts with DHL and UPS, and I don't know, different carriers in different countries, and they have different carriers. You can see the list here, and these are international, various different countries, and there's stacks of them, and they do address validation and so on and so forth. And basically, you can say, okay, I need to send a parcel, and I want to send it these dimensions, going from point A to point B. Get me a price. It goes off to the query, the carriers that you set up in your members area of this. So you'll say, by default, you get US Postal Service. And then you might say, well, I want prices also from DHL, and I want prices from UPS and Royal Mail for Great Britain, that kind of thing. So I want prices from those. Oh, and by the way, on DHL, I've actually got my own private negotiated prices. So I'll put my account details in to say, I want my quoted prices, not Joe Public's quoted prices, and so on. They've taken care of everything. You query it,
cool.
they give you the prices back, and if you place the order, they charge you 1 cent per label. So you can have international shipping in your application. Really, really simple. So we're going to add basically a class for this, a task class for this. This has already been implemented. It's in a particular solution. I work with a particular company, and this has already been put in. So there's going to be a task class created for this, but we're actually going to use this, the actual raw calls to this, as part of our training to give an idea of just basically just in case you come across and there'll be plenty. I know some people want to be talking to Magento online shop and so on. So they publish an API. How are we going to talk to it? So we're going to say, okay, well, this is the steps you would do. You'd have a look. You see what parts you need. You need JSON. You need string build. You're going to need REST, and then we build it from the ground up from there, just as I would do when I'm doing the task class. But we're going to do that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really neat.
Okay.
Yep. Just one last thing. I want to put functionality into my programs as far as letting my clients do like newsletters and stuff like that. Now, on your what is the name of the product here?
HTML editor.
Yes. Can that be used for emailing? I mean, not emailing.
Exactly what we do use it.
Creating the email to. I know that emails are funny with their HTML and.
No, that's exactly what we use it for.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I have that already. It's just
Yeah. No. We use it for obviously giving a nice visual WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get editor. So the user gets to type in what they want and so on and so forth. And then it's basically when they receive that, we actually use it for basically viewing the email as well. But just put it in read-only mode.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. I'm done. Thank you, Andy.
No problem.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye. Okay. And Bill, do you remember? I think Bill's asking for which recording. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Andy. How are you today?
Yes, fine. Thank you. Yourself?
Oh, good. Hey, I was just a minute back. You were talking about the recording on the using classes.
Yeah.
For moving data around, and I didn't quite catch.
It was under. Just let me have a quick look. I've got conferences and events. Yeah. CIDC 2015, I think it was. Ultimate debug. Calculate. Try to see where mine was. Maybe was it 13? Oh, it's 13. 2013 collections of data. This was the actual thing.
Oh.
Now it's up to you. That was step 18. Step 17, because we actually built the class as part of it, and the app changed accordingly. So if we have a look, by the time we get to that step, I was going to say it's going to be a long time. It's going to be 6 years since they're on that. So yeah, it needs recompiling, and that's probably Clarion 8. But basically, I can blow the cobwebs off that. It's not the recording though. I wonder who's got the recording. Cause it would probably be John or Arnold who's got the recordings of that. But it's CIDC 2013, and you want it's myself. Collections of Data. It was called.
Collections of Data.
Yeah. So what we did, we'll just take a quick look at that class. Oops, 17. And I think the class by then had, what have we done? We'd created, and this is based on the invoice app, like I say, the standard Clarion invoice app. But we created a customer group, order header, order lines, and we created some structures for it. And we created a class, so we can say, okay, add a customer, add an order header, add an order line, fetch the order line, store the original data, sync the order total, so it would go off and recalculate for you. But all of this was, you basically, the idea was you had your application, you loaded up all the stock and all the customers and so on into a queue via this, the add customer and so on. So you internally, they would be stored in a queue, and then you could just pass this one class around, and you was actually passing a full order at a time around, which meant you could actually have 2 orders on the go as well, because they are 2 separate instances of the class.
Sure.
So
okay.
The reason
I was just trying to say which one it was, and I'll have to go back. I can't remember if that was. Let's see, this one. This year's 19. 17 we attended online. 15 I was there, and so no, I didn't do 13.
You didn't? I thought you were there actually.
No, not 13. We were there on let's see, 17 we did online.
Yes, I remember that. 15 you were there, because I thought you were there 13 as well.
15 we were there, and no, that was the first. 15 was the first one I was able to get the right timing to get down there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see if I can get the recording off John. But if you need this this example app, it's a bit rough and ready, so to speak. I think there was write-ups on it though. Collections of data, PowerPoint. Yeah. So we take. Oh, that's basically how it came about. Basically, how it came about was we needed, it was to do with this, what you call a care pathway, but we needed to be able to have all of this dataless, because it was going into 2 applications, an old Clarion, at the time it was 5.5 just going to 6, and also a Clarion 8 version. And we needed to be able to maintain 2 separate systems. But there was so much work. I mean, that doesn't do it justice. There's so many screens what hang off all this, and there's a whole rule matrices to be able to calculate these scores and so on. And we needed to be able to get it so it could be compatible with 2 systems.
But now on your training course that you got coming up, aren't you going to cover that? With that new app on using files as well?
Oh yeah, but no, that's not this. No, that's just to do with the report control and using files. No, on this one, this was all we wanted it, so it was completely. When we say dataless, we mean all of these screens didn't need any tables, so everything was put into queues and so on, and then you could just pass the overall. It was called a pathway. You could just pass the pathway, the class around from screen to screen.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood then. Yeah. I'll kind of wait, because I'm more interested in that in the report control.
Right. Yeah, I've got you.
Handle files, and I think that'll be more.
Okay. Advantageous to you. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
I misunderstood. I just and the other question while I'm on, and it goes back to what the other person had just asked you about the HTML.
Oh yeah.
Have you updated any of the examples for that? And any time recently?
Yeah, there was, because just let me go to my masters here. Oh, actually, I switched over to the other machine. I don't think I put the control registered on here. Won't be a second.
Because I know I purchased it quite a while ago, and it really I've never used it for anything because I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely bring down. When was it? November, and it was to do with in viewer only mode. No, it weren't that. Form tabbing. Basically, so let's get rid of that. Yeah, you got form tabbing here. So the tab key would be recognised and tab within a form, and it never used to do that. So that was an enhancement what happened last year, and then we added examples so to show you how to do that.
Oh, okay. And then did any of the examples show the email part too?
Oh yeah, that's been in there a while. So you got like for mail merge, it shows you like an email newsletter, if you will. So okay, and let's just have some tokens in, which all we do is just a very simple find replace, nothing crazy. But yes, basically we create a newsletter and so on, and then you can actually see it merge. So you can see there it is, and that's with Chilkat. And go to ourselves, and it's just merged the tokens. So now you're seeing your email, but being personalized to different accounts.
Yeah, that was in the original stuff. I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not really updated because it's been around for quite a while, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. I think we're coming to an end at time, which is great because we're on time. Steve said, he's got loads of API work. So you've got the Chilkat wrapper, so yeah, you're gonna be able to, especially with the training knowledge, you're gonna be able to tackle a lot of that, which will be great. Yeah, it's definitely the right choice. Okay, well, we're wrapping up, and we're wrapping up on time. So thank you, everybody. The other videos have been uploaded to the YouTube channel. I'll convert this one and leave it going tonight, and that will be uploaded in the morning for you. So, as always, thanks for attending, and I shall see you all very soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, and don't forget the training 2 week on Thursday if you haven't booked. Everybody get in. Okay. Cheers, everybody. See you soon.